So, folks, I am sitting here solo currently. It's about 10 minutes past the time Doug and I were supposed to start recording. Now, Doug did come online, but unfortunately, he's having some audio issues, and due to that, he is trying to figure that out. So I'm just kind of waiting here, and just a man and his own thoughts. Maybe I should sing a song. No, I can do that to you or to anybody else. So, but yeah, so here we are. Just me, myself, and I. Well, see you for the show, folks.
Find your mouthpiece and put on your jockstrap. It's the Sports Blitz with Doug and Robbie.
Okay, how long is your show?
You guys have such a great setup.
Listen, if you're under a rock or if you're in a cave, come on out and listen to our episode.
It was fun talking baseball. I love talking Red Sox. I love talking coaching.
I don't care because I would rather not be in MLB season than have to sit and watch the colossal embarrassment.
Hey, hello, I am Bloom. Yeah, it's Doug and Robbie from the Sports Blitz. I just wanted to find out whether you need some pitching.
There you go. In 5, 4, 3.
And a hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 96 of the Sports Blitz. Yes, you heard me right. It is episode number 96. And as always, I am Robbie. Doug is here as well. Doug, how are you tonight?
I'm good, except my speaker's crapping out, but other than that, I'm good. So I am headphoneless.
You were having some tech issues there earlier, but
I'm headphoneless. I kind of feel a little naked, Rob, without my headphones.
I don't think anybody wants to see that. So
See, I'm actually. They can see I am fully clothed. I just feel a little, weird without the headphones on. But that's okay.
I get it totally.
I can hear everything now.
He can hear it all, man. He can hear it all. Which is good, which is important when you're doing a
when you're doing a podcast.
You really need to be able to hear people are saying. That kind of helps things a lot. But we're excited to be back for another episode, and always excited to have our sponsor for our episode, our lovely sponsor, Doug. Tell us all about tonight's sponsor for episode number 96.
Our sponsor is Zyman Organizing for our episode tonight of the Sports Blitz. Feeling overwhelmed with a broom or cabinet or drawer, they can come in, help you out, help you organize. Contact Zyman Organizing, because what they can do is they can work with you to create and organize a great space for you. So it can be a space that you can walk into, and it will be a serene space, and you can hang out and that kind of thing. Remember, Zyman Organizing, creating a stress-free home. We're going to have that in the
link in the description.
Yep, link in the description. So check them out.
Absolutely, check them out. Much appreciative, as always, of Zyman Organizing for sponsoring tonight's episode. And speaking of tonight's episode, let's get into tonight's episode. It's going to be a fun episode today. I'm really looking forward to this one. Obviously, the last few weeks we've been talking a lot of football and a lot of sort of current event-based topics. So we want to do tonight, sort of change it up a little bit, like we tend to do sometimes here on the Sports Blitz, and do sort of a two-part episode as it will be. So we're going to sort of talk about some of our favorite sports movies tonight. I know we've talked about sports movies in the past with our buddy Kyle, which, by the way, shout out to the other 2/3 of the Sports Blitz universe, Marvel at the Movies and On a Couch Talking Sports. New episodes have either dropped or will be dropping shortly. So a lot of exciting things to come for both of those shows, and obviously
great episode. I challenged. It's the Marvel Trivia Challenge.
Yes.
Marvel Trivia Challenge. You gotta check out, because I challenged Kyle Kyle took the challenge on. He did really well, but you got to watch that episode. It's awesome.
Coming, as I said, coming soon to a computer screen near you.
Yes.
So definitely check that out. But yeah, so we're going to talk some sports movies today, and then we're going to do a little sports trivia challenge as well. Doug and I have some questions for each other, sort of test our sports knowledge, as we always like to do here sometimes on the Sports Blitz, which makes sense, like I said, since we are a sports show. So let's jump right into the first part of today's episode. And like I said, that is going to be discussing sports movies, some of our favorite sports movies. And I mean, there are a lot to choose from, obviously, throughout the years. A lot of classic sports movies to, some of the more recent films that have come out. So, like I said, a lot of choices to talk about, Doug. So I wanted to sort of ask you, first of all, when it comes to your sort of history of sports movie watching, right off the top of your head, what are a couple of the movies that are maybe a step above other ones out there for you? Sort of some of your truly top of the list favorite movies that throughout the course of your life you have had the pleasure of viewing either in theaters or just in general, computer, TV, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, the best movies that I guess I like this genre of movies. Best sports movies that I've seen are the ones where there's some kind of it's like a Rocky movie. It's and I love the Rocky movie too. The Rocky movie series also. It's somebody who can't do something, can't play basketball, can't succeed at too small, or can't can't do there's some kind of adversity that's going on.
Right.
And they overcome the adversity by working hard and getting it done. Those are the best ones that are out there. Now, there are other ones out there that you watch that are, kind of, I guess, like classics that you're like, well, there's no adversity in here. It's just it's just a funny movie. You want to see who's in it. You want to, see the if there are any sports players that are actually playing, and there have been in recent history movies that have real real sports stars in them.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I just watched Kingpin yesterday, where you have a sportscaster, John Dennis. John Dennis was actually in that. He was the sportscaster. He was doing the sportscasting for the little bowling tournament. Bill Murray versus Woody Harrelson. And he was actually one of the commentators. And again, on sports radio for a really, really long time, and that kind of thing. So, you kind of watch those kinds of things. So I think probably my top two, other than sports documentaries, which I happen to love too.
Yeah.
There are sports movie documentaries that are out there, which are great also. But my top two sports movie that I could think of, the top two is Rudy and Hoosiers. Those are my top two.
Okay.
I mean,
both
think about it.
Both great choices. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the genre right there. A small team that has never made it really anywhere, but plays in the state of Indiana.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they breathe. We're talking Larry Bird country.
They
live and breathe basketball.
There. Yeah, absolutely.
They're giving their kids are given basketballs. Their kids are given basketballs really, really early on in life.
Yeah.
When they can actually hold them as 1 or 2 year olds. and this just a high school basketball team that has very few players on it, and they get a new coach, very controversial coach, and based on a true story, really cool. And I'm not going to tell you what the ending is because I want everybody to go and see it or at least rent it. I know it's on. It was actually just on. It's just on Epix on cable.
Okay.
So I know it was just on there, but it's all around everywhere. I mean, I'm sure you could find it, and maybe even be on Amazon. But my thought is that that's just one of those. Oh my God, let's try to make it movies.
Yeah.
Rudy is probably my number one, just because it's a kid. It's a little bit like a Rocky movie, So you have a kid who's too small, also based, by the way, on a true story. Kid who's too small to play football, but tries really, really, really hard, and loves his father, loves the Irish, loves Notre Dame. And not only is he trying to play football for Notre Dame, but he's also trying to get into the school too, so he can actually play football for Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So he's got to go to community college for a little while, and it's just a great story. It's not. It's kind of like a situation where the dad works in a factory, so it's and all the kids work in a factory, and that's kind of what you're supposed to do. But it's really a great story. It is based on a true story. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you what the end is.
If you haven't seen it, you should go watch it.
Yeah, you should absolutely go. If you want, you should own it too in some capacity, even if it's on Blu-ray. Because if you want a movie that's going to absolutely, you're down one day and you're like, can I do this and can I not do this? Because we all get there. We all have that. You throw in Rudy and all of a sudden you're feeling good about yourself.
Yeah.
You're feeling good.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's definitely a feel-good movie. So those are the two that, at least the top two that I can think of, that really kind of register with me. There are other ones out there, but those are really the top two. What's the top on your list, Rob?
I mean, definitely the top of the top of the top on my list has to be Remember the Titans. I've always loved Remember the Titans. I mean, just sort of the historical, based on a true story. Gotta say it with yours, based on a true story. Sort of dealing with a whole mess of different issues. Football. Sort of racial issues. Sort of just teenage, typical teenage issues. I mean, just a lot of different things going on in that movie, and just sort of the thrills that you get from sort of watching that team as they progress throughout the season and all that good stuff is it always holds a special place in my heart, and I always try to find, whenever I get a chance to watch, I never pass up an opportunity for sure. But yeah, Remember the Titans, like I said, has always been number one for me. I mean, there are just so many good choices. I mean, there's so many other movies, like Hoosiers and Rudy, like you talked about. Just so many throughout the years that have been just great movies to watch. Like The Sandlot is another one that stands out for me.
I'll tell you, I love that.
Guy,
If you've ever played baseball in your backyard, Sandlot's a perfect movie for you.
Yeah, no, I mean that Sandlot is like just classic kid baseball movie. And again, you sort of talked earlier about sort of the kid who doesn't really have a whole lot of friends. It's sort of new in town and is sort of struggling to sort of make it in the new town, and then he meets sort of the Sandlot gang, so to speak, and stuff really takes off for him. So yeah, I mean, I think for me probably the top two are Remember the Titans and Sandlot, but I mean there's just so many. There's so many movies of all different sport genres that I've come to enjoy over the years, and it's not a yeah, I don't know, the sort of listing of all of them can sort of is very fluid in my mind, but except for Remember the Titans. Remember the Titans, I think, will always be number one for me. But other than that, um, there's just so many good ones out there. I mean, it's really what it comes down to. So many good sports movies. You really, no matter what sport you enjoy, you really can't go wrong. You'd really be hard pressed to find a movie, to not find a good movie in any particular sports related movie category.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because there are, you could see a bowling movie. You could see,
Yeah.
And that's
Horse
people consider that a
racing.
sport.
Horse racing, I mean,
Some consider that a sport.
horse racing, NASCAR. I mean, all the
NASCAR
yeah,
too, and
yeah,
you have golf too. Tin
yeah.
Cup.
Oh, great movie.
One of
Great
my
movie.
favorite, and
Yeah.
I'm not a big golf guy, except
Yeah.
miniature. But 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 I will tell you, I love that movie.
Yeah,
That movie
no,
is
that
so
was
fantastic.
absolutely.
It's also very funny at parts too, but it's
Yeah.
also, I guess it's him overcoming adversity, but it's also a little adversity, but it's also a little bit absolutely crazy. It's like just trying to it's almost like just trying to be yourself.
right.
Just trying to, hey, listen, I may not be the best pro in the whole world, but I'm gonna get this ball on that green no matter what I need to do, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Keep dropping it.
Yeah.
And even if I don't, who's gonna? Well, I mean, does anybody remember who won the Masters in 1962?
Nope.
Because I don't.
No.
But if you had a situation, I'm not sure if I don't think that's based on a true story, but if you had a situation where you had a guy in 1974 who just tried to keep hitting the ball and hitting the ball. He lost the whole tournament, but he kept trying to hit the ball. He finally got the ball on the green. You'd probably remember that.
Oh,
So
yeah.
again,
Oh,
it's what's more important in the world is
Right.
I guess what I'm talking about. The funny ones. I like how you have serious ones. You have the serious, and some of them are more documentary type movies. But then you have your serious ones that are, just, and then you have your funny ones.
Yeah.
And your funny ones are like Major League, which, by the way, is one of my favorites also.
Always another good sort of, and there's multiple, sort of another good trilogy, so to speak, because there are multiple Major League movies for sure.
Exactly. I will tell you, there is one movie, if you haven't seen it, it's a little bit older. A lot of it old. But if you haven't seen it, it's fantastic. And you have to see it because it's a little bit of a twist at the end. I'm not going to tell you what the twist is because I want you guys to go see it. It's called Rookie of the Year.
Ooh. Yes. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Fantastic movie. And there's a little bit of a twist at the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, it's about a kid, and he actually he's playing in the ballpark. I think it's down the street from his house or whatever. And he actually trips over a glove or a baseball,
yeah,
something like that, falls on his arm, and his arm after he gets his arm out of the cast because of the ligaments or something. The doctor said, which I don't believe at all, but it's kind of a cool thing for the movie, is that the ligaments are so tight that he can throw the ball really fast, and they start noticing, and all of a sudden this kid has been invited to a major league practice.
Yeah.
And like to try to be in the, and it's very, the whole movie is a comedy too, so it's very, very funny. But there is a twist at the end, but you got to see Rookie of the Year. It's a fabulous movie.
Oh, 100%.
It is a little bit
100%.
older, so just kind of realize that sometimes when you think about, and I don't know exactly when it came out.
It's very mature also for like a kid's, a lot of mature topics
Yeah.
sort of that come up despite it
Yes.
being technically a kid's movie, quote
Yeah,
unquote. So
absolutely. But it comes up at a time where I think the father either passes away or there's a divorce situation. So it doesn't bring up a lot of the family stuff, just a little bit here and there. It's mostly about him getting to the major leagues. This
yeah,
kid who's like 10 or 11 years
yeah,
old.
yeah.
It's such a great movie. I mean,
No, you're
really, just
the other one that I thought of. I know it's a little bit more serious. Was 42. The Jackie
yeah,
Robinson story with Chadwick Boseman. R.I.P. Playing Jackie Robinson, and just that was quite a in depth. I know it's kind of had some Hollywood to it, but that definitely sort of gave you the feel of what it must have been like to be, Jackie Robinson back when he broke the color barrier there, for the Brooklyn Dodgers. So that's another good one that I would highly recommend. If you haven't yet seen it, you should definitely check out 42 as well. That's another really good one.
yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. 61, also from 2001,
Yeah, yeah,
is also a very, very good movie.
yeah.
I would suggest seeing that too. That's excellent. Baseball movies, Bull Durham, The Natural. I mean, you know, these are, two. If you just want to see a good hearted, nice kind of movie with a little bit of adversity, I mean, The Natural is fabulous. You know, and Bull Durham is just, you know, it's that old adage of, and both of them are kind of in the same realm of, are these guys too old to play, kind of situation, and we're not talking Tom Brady here, but we're kind of talking, in that kind of realm of whether these guys can actually play or not. But it's a good movie, great cast in both. I mean, Robert Redford and then Kevin Costner and Rene Russo in Bull Durham.
Yeah, Kevin Costner, it's interesting. Kevin Costner, like in baseball movies, kind of have become intertwined over the years because obviously Bull Durham, but then he was also in that movie for Love of the Game where he's like a pitcher for the Detroit Tigers
Oh, right,
and
yeah,
he's pitching against the Yankees and there's just a whole sort of backstory. They're sort of looking back through his life and love life and all that good stuff. So
absolutely.
there's that one. Another one that I just thought of. You were sort of talking about ones about players and people who maybe were a little bit on the older side. It was The Rookie with Dennis Quaid, and he plays Jim Morris, who is a high school science teacher and baseball coach who discovers that he can still throw the ball like 90 miles an hour and ends up trying out and making the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and just the whole thing and
Yes,
yeah, that was based off a true story, and so that was a pretty wild one as well. I mean, for whatever sport you fancy or whatever sport you enjoy, I mean, you're gonna find a lot of movies that you're gonna enjoy within that particular sport genre. I mean, yeah, you could go sort of sport by sport here and really, you know, there are so many different movies you could pick out. If you're a hockey guy, there's like a movie like Miracle, documenting the 1980 U.S. Olympic men's hockey team. I mean, just Space Jam for basketball, Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes, which is, a very interesting
and
combination, but it works.
there are all stars in that too, not just Michael
Yeah,
Jordan.
yep,
There are other
yep.
stars in that,
Oh yeah,
other basketball stars.
Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley,
Yeah,
the list goes on and on there.
but I will tell you, Robbie, one of the things, if you've ever played Little League, one of the best movies is actually something that's not from yesterday. It's actually a movie from 1976.
Okay.
This is, you gotta watch. It's kind of a first movie that kind of gives you the base, and then there are several movies after. I will tell you, only watch the first two. Don't watch anything after that. It's the Bad News Bears.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too earlier.
Bad News Bears
Yeah.
is if you've ever played any kind of little league when you were growing up, or any kind of other league kind of thing when you were growing up. This is really great. This is very, very funny. Do not, watch the original.
Oh, you definitely have to watch the original.
Don't watch
yeah.
any of the remakes.
No,
the remakes are
is king.
Remakes are horrible. The original Bad News Bears. I believe the second one, I think it's Bad News Bears and Breaking Training, which is very good.
Well, there's also the Japan one. There's also
the
one
Japan one is actually
Japan.
really, really good. So I would suggest to go and see that one, but don't see anything else because I think there's more.
Yeah, the original and the Japan one, I think, were the top two of that series, of that franchise there for sure.
Yes, and if you're a Tatum O'Neal fan, you gotta watch her. As she was about 10, 11 years old in this movie, 1976. You gotta watch it. It's great. It's great because it brings back those days in which you were competing against other teams in Little League.
Right.
If you're a Little League guy or you did any Little League, I would suggest you watch that movie. Absolutely. That was huge.
No, absolutely. Another one that I just thought of again, sort of going back to sort of childhood here, is the Mighty Ducks movies.
Oh, right, yes.
D1, D2, and D3 Mighty Ducks. Definitely some must-watchers, as well, as you sort of take this group of kid hockey players and sort of watch them as they sort of grow up and go through life playing hockey on all different sorts of levels. So definitely another good franchise as well. So
another Kevin Costner, Field of Dreams.
Yeah, of course. Oh, how could you forget Field of Dreams? Yeah, there were. Heck, MLB just did a Field of Dreams in Iowa.
Yes, comes from that movie.
Yeah.
Comes from that movie. That's perfect.
Absolutely. I mean, again, there's so many that you could. I mean, you could literally spend hours and hours sort of going through every single sports movie and sports movie genre out there. I mean,
so here's my first trivia question to you, but it's not really a trivia question because we haven't really started that yet.
Yeah, I was about
there was a movie that came out. There was a movie came out in 2005. That's really, really super important to Boston fans. What movie's that?
Fever Pitch.
Yes, of course. See, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. You passed the first trivia question test. Yes, absolutely. If you're a Boston Red Sox fan, you got to see Fever Pitch. It is very, very good.
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
If you're a Red Sox fan that lived through the 2004, run to the World Series and there's that whole season, or have just lived through, seasons up until that, the whole Curse of the Bambino and all, I mean, Fever Pitch is the perfect movie for you. Obviously it's got its own, again, sort of like Hollywood love story, in it as well, but it definitely accurately, at least somewhat accurately portrays life as a Red Sox fan during that 04 season, just leading up to then, for sure. So, Fever Pitch, 100%. Great sports movie as well, with Jimmy Fallon and Drew Barrymore.
Yes, of course.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just terrific. And if you want to see the behind the baseballs, right? Sure. Behind the baseball. You want to see behind the scenes of a major league team, Moneyball.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, Moneyball, right?
Oakland A's,
Yeah.
Billy
behind the scenes, how the Oakland A's became a championship team just on statistics alone.
Absolutely.
So it's really it's a book. It's based on the book, but it's a great movie too. You got to watch it. I didn't think I was actually going to like it at first either. I was like, oh geez, they're just going to not a lot of baseball and very little and a lot of statistics and all this it was actually a really good movie.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I really enjoyed Moneyball as well. The time that I saw it, for sure. It's interesting. One other one that I'll bring up, and this is mainly because Ed Asner, I know, passed away recently, and he was actually in a baseball movie that was a little bit lesser known, but that I definitely he was in a couple baseball movies actually, but the one that I remember most clear is this movie, and for some reason I'm blanking on the name. I want to say it was called like I Love This Game or Love of the Game
For the
or
love of the
something
game.
for something like that. Basically, he plays like a former major leaguer, or former minor leaguer who then becomes the coach of like this little league team, and like the little league team is a bunch of kids who have sort of been sort of the lower end of the totem pole kids on their old little league team, and sort of just goes through their story of sort of overcoming the adversity and sort of also just playing for love of the game, which is what you're supposed to do in little league. So I thought that was another good one. Then there was another. I think there was another one. Well, no, I mean, I don't think there was another one. There was another one. The movie's called Ed, and it's actually stars one of the characters from Friends. That I'm again blanking on the name at the moment, but yeah, it's about a chimp that plays baseball, and actually like joins like a baseball team, and it's a pretty wild movie. Again, check those movies out if you haven't done so already. But again, just goes to show you, just there's so many of them out there. Yeah, I could spend hours just sort of picking movie after movie after movie, and then
Yeah,
like I think
1996 they had another Boston team with a movie. 1996. Remember what that was?
trying to think. I know that there was the one, and maybe it's the one you're talking about. I'm gonna sort of go through a little bit of the plot line here, and you tell me if it's the one you're thinking about. There was the one where like Celtics fans like kidnap a player or something like that.
It's called Celtics Pride. Yeah,
Ah,
that's it.
yes. Okay, cool.
Celtics Pride. Yeah,
I just
1996.
didn't remember the name of it, but
Dan
yeah.
Aykroyd was in it.
Oh wow.
Just a great cast, and actually, it's just this absolutely crazy movie. But if you want to see something a little bit crazy, a little bit off, Celtics Pride is great. What's great is that you'll see a lot of Boston scenes. They do a lot of the filming in Boston. Again, just like Fever Pitch too. Um, White Men Can't Jump is another
Yeah.
one, which
Oh
is
yeah.
really good. Wesley Snipes and Moody Harrelson, really super, super good movie. Mid-90s, 1992. Really, really great movie. Not much adversity there, except that they. Guess what it comes down to is they don't think Woody Harrelson can really play, but
Right. He's kind of a
he's
ringer. He's a
he's
ringer,
kind of a
basically.
ringer,
Yeah.
and then and some other stuff happens and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But he's a gambler on the side, and he just goes to these games and tries to win money and stuff like that. But it's actually it's a very funny movie. It's a very good movie. I happen to like it a lot. The other one is Youngblood. Talking about hockey, Rob Lowe.
I don't.
Youngblood.
I'm not. I'm more vague on that movie, but
Youngblood is Rob Lowe. He's part of a. His brother was in Canadian team. It's all about they live in Canada, and it is they are on a farm. Dad owns a farm, but all they did was hockey. All they did was
yeah.
grow up playing hockey, and it's Patrick Swayze is his brother, and Rob Lowe, and Patrick Swayze actually got hurt like seriously and could never play hockey again. Lost his hearing or something like that, or just could never play again. And they always thought that Rob Lowe, his brother, was too skinny and not a lot of weight and that kind of thing. And again, another adversity movie. And there's a love interest too, a Rob Lowe love interest, because every movie with Rob Lowe, there's got to be some kind of love interest that goes along with it. So It's that and just him getting onto a team, and it's actually a really good movie. So Youngblood, watch that, try to catch that too.
Well,
but we also want to know, Robbie, right?
Well, speaking of hockey, another one that came out, classic movie, Slapshot. Slapshot, another good
Yes.
one. For sure.
Great movie.
Yes.
Classic, actually.
Yeah.
Classic hockey movie.
No, absolutely, and definitely well quoted these days. You always see the memes and the people will quote the movie. Definitely.
You see people dressing up as the Hanson brothers all the time in hockey movies.
Yep.
I mean, hockey games.
Yeah, saying that as well.
Yeah, they're great. Excellent. Just fabulous. Blue Chips is also very good. It's with Nick Nolte.
Yeah.
With Nick Nolte, it's also one of my favorites.
A lot of professional athletes in that one as well. Shaq and Hardaway and those guys. Absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely. It's a great movie too.
Yeah. A lot of great. I mean, just so many great ones out there, and I mean, like I said, the lists go on and on.
But Robbie, hey, we also want to know what your favorite. Tell us what your favorite sports movie is, and put it. Throw it right in the comments for us.
Yeah, absolutely, people.
We'd love to know what it is.
We definitely want to know.
Maybe it's a movie we never talked about.
Yeah, maybe it's
a movie we forgot. I'm telling you, we probably forgot a whole bunch of movies.
Yeah,
but
there's only so many hours in the day or in the episode, so no, definitely. Drop us a comment on what your favorite sports movie is, because we want to hear it, for sure, and we want to reminisce about it in our heads when you mention it to us.
Yeah, even Forget Paris. Forget Paris is like a love story, but it has Billy Crystal, who's one of my favorites. He's actually an NBA referee, and he's hilarious because there are like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is in it. Some of the guys from the early to mid 90s. It's just great. It came out in 1995, so it's just a really 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 cool kind of movie. But it's like on the side, the whole premise that's not sports related, but there is a whole section that is, because he plays an NBA referee. Right. So I just think it's funny. I can't even imagine Billy Crystal.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. But yeah, there's tons of sports movies, but we want to know what you think. What's your favorite?
Absolutely.
Write in the comments.
Yep, definitely. Drop us a comment. Let us know what you think. 100%. So I think now this is kind of a good time to sort of transition over a little bit to the second part of our episode, which is a little bit of a sports trivia challenge that we are going to do. Doug and I have come up with some questions for each other on a wide variety of sports-related topics, both Boston sports and non-Boston sports as well. And so we're going to kind of go back and forth here and, see if we can stump each other. I guess is what it really comes down to. See how hard these questions are for each of us that we've come up for each other. So I guess, Doug, I will give you the honor and the privilege of asking the first question to lead us off here.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you a really easy one up front, because we'll start out easy. I'm not sure if any of these are really that hard, but I didn't get them from.
Oh, and by the way, some of these, I know at least for mine, I think, Doug, yours as well, some of these are just sort of straight answer questions, and a couple of these are multiple choice, at least on my end. So
yeah, I have just straight answers. I was going to do the multiple choice, but the multiple choice seemed really, really super easy. So mine are just kind of.
I'm making life easier on you, Doug, by giving you a few multiple choices sprinkled in there. So
okay, thank you very much. I don't really have those anymore.
That's right. No, that's okay.
But I mean, I could make them up as I go along too.
No, that's all right. No.
So this one is actually this one comes from this is Boston sports trivia, specifically Boston. So a lot of these questions are going to be from Boston sports. This one, I know, Robbie, you're going to get right off the bat. Absolutely.
All right,
So
here we
we'll
go.
start
I'm
off.
ready.
We'll start off with super easy.
Excuse me.
Who was the last Boston Red Sox player to win the AL Rookie of the Year award? Tell me the player and what year.
This is easy? Wow.
I thought it was.
I maybe you don't. Apparently, I don't know so much about the Red Sox as I think I do. I'm not remembering at the moment.
What I did with Kyle was I read the question again, and sometimes there's a little hint in the question. There isn't this one. What was the last Boston Red Sox player to win the AL Rookie of the Year award? I need the player and the year.
Rookie of the Year.
Well, think about when they were playing very, very well.
That's what I'm trying to think back
Yeah.
to. Wow. This is kind of sad to admit, but I'm for some reason I am drawing a blank because all the guys I could think of were not rookies in the particular years that I'm thinking of. I'm gonna go. No, it couldn't have been him.
30 seconds.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm just gonna take a shot in the dark because I'm gonna say Xander Bogaerts in 2013. I honestly cannot think of it off the top of my head.
Okay. That's a really good guess. It's not correct, but it's a good guess.
I didn't think that it was.
You ready?
Ready.
Dustin Pedroia, 2007.
Wow. I would not, and the name, all the names I was sort of cycling through. I was even going as far back as like, has anybody watched this Nomar? Like I was like thinking like Mookie Betts,
Yeah, I was thinking that too when I
like
first saw the question.
Devers, all these guys. I'm like, Dustin Pedroia did not even cross my mind. So wow, there you good. Hey, there you go. There you go. I feel ashamed. I feel
it's okay.
demoralized.
It's all right. We don't get every question correct.
As the baseball guy on this show, I feel like I've let all my fellow baseball fans out there down, but I'll get over it. I'll be okay.
Yeah. And they've already turned us off, Robbie. All the baseball fans have left the podcast.
Yeah, I know, right? All right. Well, I guess I'll sort of ask my first question now. Again, we could kind of sort of trade off back and forth here. So my first question to you, Doug, is also a Red Sox / baseball related question. Which Red Sox hit an inside the park homer in their 2017 Game 4 ALDS loss to the Houston Astros?
Oh man! Wow! Inside the park home.
I'll give you a small hint, or kind of a small hint. It was in the 9th inning of the game, and like I said, it was Game 4 of the 2017 ALDS, where unfortunately they ended up being knocked out in that game by the Houston Astros, eventual World Series champion, actually, Houston Astros.
They got knocked out 5-4, right?
Yeah, it was a one run game, and that inside the park homer made it the final score.
Hold on, I got a lot of players right now. And that was 2017, right?
2017, correct.
Okay.
I was actually at that game.
Really? Wow. So you really know the answer to that question.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That definitely would stand out. Trying to figure out who was relatively hot at that time too. So maybe it wasn't. Just trying to figure out.
Do you want to? I could give you one more hint if you would like.
No, let me. I got a couple of players in mind,
Okay.
and this is going to be one of those pure guess things for me.
That's all right. I kind of purely guessed on your first one.
Yeah,
so it's all good.
There's no way that this is going to be a pure guess, just because. And again, the reason I'm guessing this is because there's a couple of players who actually played super well that year, and I'm just kind of there's that section, and I'm just trying to figure out, and then I'm just going to go eeny meeny. I'm just going to guess because I really seriously have no idea. Just because they're
just go with your gut, Doug. Go with your gut. You know, sometimes it's just what you got to do.
All right, I'm going to go with my gut. And this is totally a guess. This is not right. There's no way this is. I'm going to go with. I'm closing my eyes because I'm going to say it. I'm going to go with Rafi Devers.
That is the correct answer.
What?
Yeah, Rafael Devers hit the.
That is not right, dude.
It is.
That is
100%.
No way.
Doug,
Right.
I was at the game, and I should know. Yeah, Rafael Devers in the ninth inning against Houston in Game 4, 2017, hit the walk-off. Jeez. Hit the inside the park homer.
There is no way that's correct.
Cut it to 5-4. And unfortunately, they could not put it across any other runs.
What? I don't.
Hey, like I said, go with your. That's why I said go with your gut.
I am dumbfounded because that was a pure guess on my part.
Yep, Rafael Devers. Yep, in game, like I said, in Game 4. Yeah, I remember because obviously, I think that was his rookie year, if I'm not mistaken. Or it was like his first or second year, and yeah, he. I remember just going crazy, like when he hit because you rarely see inside the park homers, let alone in a playoff game in the ninth inning, and yeah, so it was Rafi. Good job, Doug. Let me give you a round of applause for pulling that one out. There you go.
I had a couple other players I was thinking about. I thought they were more thinking that's what they were more than him, but I was just like, wait a minute. You know how you have that first choice, you have second choice and third choice?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to go with your first choice. So that was my first choice.
Just out of curiosity, and I don't mean to get too far sort of off here, but who were your second and third choices, or second choice in that answer?
I was thinking, and I was trying to think back whether these players were actually on the team in 2017, which is crazy. I think my second choice was second choice was the guy from there was it was the guy from the outfield that
Attendee?
Yes.
Yeah, well, the funny thing is he hit a homer in that game as well. He actually hit a at the time go-ahead homer off of Justin Verlander earlier in the game, and then unfortunately Houston was able to retake the lead late in that one.
And I can't remember the other one. I can't remember what the other one was.
Right.
But it was a choice there.
Like I said, good job, Doug.
All right, so here it comes. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This should be something that you should be able to get.
Yeah, after that first Red Sox question, I have no confidence whatsoever, but lay it on me.
Okay, this college QB is the only Heisman winner to play for Boston College. Who is he and what year?
Okay.
I told you it was easy. I'm giving you an easy one.
It is a Natick's finest, Doug Flutie, and it was The only thing is, I'm afraid I'm going to butcher the year, but I'm going to go sort of with my gut. Was it 1985 or somewhere around there?
Yes,
It was
around there.
It was right around that time frame. 84. Okay, yeah, I knew it was somewhere around the 84, 85, 86 range. But yeah. Doug Flutie. Oh, there you go. There you are.
There we go. Yeah.
Hello. I think we lost
We
lost
lost
each
a little
other
bit
for a
of
second.
a connection
Yeah.
there, but we're back.
It
We're
just
good.
gave me the good old your internet connection is unstable side, but I think I've got it now. I think we're okay.
All righty.
But Doug Flutie, good old
Yep.
Natick
1984. You got
finest.
it. You got it. I was trying to get to a really, really super one, so I get that confidence.
Well, you know how much of a BC football fan I am. So yeah,
I know, and that's why I thought it was going to be very simple.
There you go. All right, second question for you. This one's going to be kind of interesting. It's going to sort of take you, sort of force you to sort of remember some maybe lesser known names. And Patriots. This is Patriots related question. So in 2013, as you may remember, Doug, against the New Orleans Saints in the regular season, Tom Brady threw a final second touchdown pass to win the game against the New Orleans Saints back in 2013 at Gillette Stadium. My question to you is, can you remember who the receiver was that caught said game-winning touchdown pass?
Of course, I'm wearing my Patriots hat, so that's a problem.
First of all, let me ask you this. Do you remember off the top of your head the game that I'm talking about?
Oh, hell no.
Really?
I kind of do.
Brady last second against the Saints at 13 sort of dropped in that touchdown pass in the corner to win it. I think we've talked about on the show before because that was the game where Scott Zolak, after the touchdown, was like, unicorns, show ponies, where's the beef?
I think I remember that.
The radio broadcast.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I'm gonna. This one is interesting.
Yeah, unfortunately, did not include this one as multiple choice. I could try to give you multiple choice if you want, but I don't really know if I really remember that many pass receivers.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So let me get this right. So it's the game against the Saints. Tom Brady throws to the corner of the end zone to win the game.
Win the game. Final second, literally the final minute of play. Basically, I'm asking you, who is the receiver that caught the touchdown?
Oh boy. I'm going to kind of go with my gut.
It worked for you the first time, so you might as well.
It's going to work for me on the second time because I have some thoughts on. Can I ask a question?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
This is just a yes or no.
Okay.
Because I had a thought that it might be this person too, this particular player.
Okay.
Is this a person that just passed away just recently?
No.
Okay, good.
No.
Okay, then I can scratch that off.
No.
Cool. Okay.
I don't think
totally different game then.
I was about to say, I don't think he was on. I think this was 2013, so he was gone for the Patriots at that time.
So I'm just going to go with my gut. I'm going to say Julian Edelman.
That is incorrect, unfortunately. Great guess, but it was actually Kembrell Tompkins.
Yeah.
Kembrell. Like I said, I told you it was going to be a lesser known guy, but
I remember him.
Kembrell Tompkins was the recipient of that Tom Brady.
One of my favorite receivers for the.
Yeah. Okay. Keep digging yourself that hole, bud.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that.
All right. You are up. What's your next question?
Mine's also a Patriots question.
Okay. Lay it on me.
Here it comes. Who holds the New England Patriots record for most receiving yards in a game with 217? I need the person and hold on. The person in the year.
Oh, geez.
Who holds the New England Patriots record for most receiving yards in a game with 217? I'm going to make you think out of the box, too. But this one is actually a more well-known player.
I honestly, I'm just going to go straight up with my gut here because it's probably going to be wrong. I'm going to go with Randy Moss in 2007.
A great guess. Not right.
But wrong, yeah, I know. I figured.
It's Wes Welker in 2011.
Wow. I would not have thought of Wes. I definitely would have thought 2011.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No, it's all good.
That's all right. These are some good questions. I'm liking this so far. So my next question, just so you know, is a multiple choice question. And you'll understand why it's a multiple choice question here in just a second. How many points per game did Jason Tatum average during the 2020-2021 season? So just this past season that was just completed. Was it 21.3, 28.5, 26.4, or 29.7? So again, I'm asking you, how many points per game did Jason Tatum average this past season? It could be 21.3, 28.5, 26.4, or 29.7.
Well, I am the basketball guy, so hopefully I'll get this right. And if I don't, I will hang my head in shame.
You have a 1 in 4 chance, man.
That's true. Thank you for the multiple choice. I think 21.3 is a little low, a little bit for at least 2021. I just think it's a little bit low. And 29.7, way too high. Not quite there yet for average. So I'm gonna say it's between the 28.5 and the 26.4. 50-50 chance.
That's right.
I still think the 28.5 is a little bit high, so I'm going to go with 26.4.
That is correct. Your deductive reasoning proved you right on that one. So very good. Yes, 26.4 points per game for Tatum this past season. So
let's see if we can up that. Let's see if we can up that to the 20.
I'd love to get. I was about to get a little bit closer to that 29.7 would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So good. Well done, Doug.
Thank you. Okay, let me see what's next on your agenda. Do you know, do you know baseball from like the 80s and stuff?
I could give it a good try.
Okay, so we'll ask you this question. This Red Sox player holds the record for having the most hits in a season and allegedly drinking 72 beers during one cross-country flight. Who is this? And what year is it? And how many hits, if you could do that?
Oh, God, I'm not going to get how many hits in a...
So this is a Red Sox player who holds the record for having the most hits in a season.
Yeah.
And allegedly drinking 72 beers during one cross-country flight. Who is he? And if you could do the year and his average, you could do that too. But I'm not expecting that. I just want a name. I do have both. I have all three of those. But if you get the name, then you get the question.
Most hits. I mean, there are a few names sort of popping around in my head. I'm trying to think of like who would be one that would not only get hits, but also would be like a big sort of partier drinker type.
Yeah, and again, I will tell you, it's in the 80s.
Yeah.
I'll even give you the year because it 1985. I'll give you the
Okay.
year. It was mid 80s, so at least it gives you a chance to know that it wasn't something that was recent. And the beer drinking totally makes sense.
Yeah.
If you know anything about this play.
I'm gonna kind of go with my gut here. I mean, I'm sure I'm gonna hear him and be like, oh, shoot, that was like my secretary. Was it Dave Henderson?
That's a great guess. Drink 72 beers.
I don't know.
It's a very, very famous third baseman.
Oh, then would have been Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs, that's what it is. It's Wade Boggs, people.
He
had 250.
Yeah.
He had 255 hits.
Wow, that's a lot of hits.
1985. That is a lot of hits.
Well, good for good old Wade. Yeah, I wouldn't. The funny thing is, I wasn't even thinking about him. I was kind of going more like the Jim Rice, Dwight Evans, Henderson sort of road there. But
right,
like I said, Wade Boggs definitely when you say it definitely makes sense, especially the beer drinking part of it.
right, exactly.
All right. My next question to you, Doug, is not necessarily Boston sports related. But here's my question to you is how many NBA teams had multiple players on the 2020 US Olympic men's basketball roster?
How many what?
How many NBA teams
how many NBA?
Had multiple players on the most recent, as in this past summer, U.S. Olympic men's basketball roster?
Oh boy. Wow. That's actually a really good question. I'm actually really going to get this wrong. I'm just saying. This is wow. Wow. So in other words, how many teams are represented? Is that what you're saying?
What I am asking you is how many teams had multiple players on the U.S. men's team roster? So what I mean is basically there were a certain number of teams that had more than one player represented on the roster.
Okay, I got you. I'm going to give a guess of 4.
That's a good guess. Unfortunately, that's incorrect. It was 1. There was one team, the Milwaukee Bucks, had 2 players on the roster. That was the only team with multiples, which was interesting, I thought.
Wow.
But yeah, it was just the Milwaukee Bucks. So there you go.
How many players on that team were named All-Stars? Sub question.
Like NBA All-Stars, you mean?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say 4.
Oh, 6.
Wow. There you go.
I don't know. It just came to my head.
The Bucks are the champions for a reason.
Yeah, I guess so. All right, let's ask this one. This you should definitely get.
All right.
What Red Sox pitcher recorded the most strikeouts in one season? Tell me how many, what year, and who it was. The most strikeouts in one season.
God, there you go with the years again and the numbers.
Well, that's part of the answer.
I understand that.
If I tell you the year, you'll get it right away.
Well, I'm definitely not going to get the number. I can tell you that much right off the top of my head.
No, that's fine. Just if you can, just give me the name. I just accept the name. I don't care about the other stuff. Just give me the name.
I'm going to say, well, actually,
I need this name.
I should know this.
Yes, you should.
Was it Pedro Martinez?
Yes. That's correct.
Wow. Okay, cool. My gut did not fail me that time.
It is. It was in 1999, and he had 313.
That makes sense.
Good job. See, sometimes the gut does work.
Yeah, rarely does for me, but it did in this case. So there you go. All right, my next question to you, Doug, is obviously, we talked earlier about BC football, so this is another BC football related question.
Oh,
and it's a multiple choice. It is a multiple choice.
Oh, multiple choice. I got to write down the things. Go ahead.
So, who did BC football defeat in the 2008 Champs Sports Bowl? Was it Michigan, Michigan State, Purdue, or Northwestern?
Can you repeat that question?
Yeah, so in 2008, BC won the Champ Sports Bowl. They won their bowl game. My question to you is, who did they defeat to capture that bowl win? Michigan, Michigan State, Purdue, or Northwestern? This is sort of throwing it back to good old Matt Ryan's senior year on the Heights. Another game, by the way, that I was at. Just humble brag.
Of course. Thank you for bragging.
In Orlando. The game was in Orlando, Florida.
It was BC football. Who did they beat? Who did they play? Exactly.
Well, you got 1-4 chance.
I know. I know. Now, tell me was it the Champ Sports Bowl? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Because I don't watch all the bowl games, so I don't.
That's okay.
But again, I get the answers could be Michigan, Michigan State, Purdue, or Northwestern.
Correct.
Okay. Going through this in my head now, writing down some notes. Write down some notes.
For the sake of time here, I'll give you like 15 seconds.
Oh, thanks. You're so nice to me. You're so good to me, Robbie.
I know.
I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'm going to say Michigan State.
That is correct. Very good. Yes, they defeated the Spartans of good old MSU to capture in Matt Ryan's final game in a BC uniform. Yes, I was there. There were a lot more Michigan State fans I remember than there were BC fans, but BC still came out on top to
Woohoo!
capture the bowl win. So, way to go, Eagles! But yes, good job, Doug. Again pulling an answer out of thin air. Very
Out of
very
my
well
butt.
done. Yeah, there you go.
Actually, you know what I did? I did eating
Hey,
felt like that. I don't know how
whatever you did, it
I don't
worked.
know.
Whatever you did, it worked out for you.
Yes. Okay, here we go.
All right, ready.
All right, here we go. Patriots question. In 2004, this Patriots running back achieved the record for the most rushing yards in one season. Who is he?
2004.
Yep. It's kind of a, yeah.
I just again, there's a name that jumps right out at me. I'm trying to think, was he on the team back in 04? I think he may have been. I'm just gonna go for it. Just taking that shot. I'm gonna say Corey Dillon.
Correct. Correct. You got it, man. And he had 1,635 yards.
Very good.
That is correct.
So my next question is another college football related question, not BC related this time, but actually Ivy League football. Obviously, you know the Ivy League, and
Harvard, Yale. Yeah, I know the Ivy League schools. Yeah, Brown. Yeah, I know the Ivy League, but I don't know Ivy League football. But go ahead.
No, it's a very sort of straightforward question.
Throw it out there, man.
Who captured the 2017, I don't random year, Ivy League football title?
Well, that could be pretty much anybody. Harvard, Yale.
I could narrow it down to 4 for you if you would like, or if you want to just take a shot.
I think I'll take a shot.
Okay.
I think. What's the Ivy League title? 2000. I'm just writing this down. 2017 Ivy League title.
Yeah. Doug ponders.
Yeah, I'm just trying. I don't even know. I might have to take a shot in the dark. I'm going to start writing down some teams. Okay, you ready? I'm going to write them down. Here they go. Harvard, Yale, Brown, I think is another one.
Yep.
Princeton, another
Yep.
one. Who else?
Penn. There's Dartmouth and I think Cornell. I think Cornell's an Ivy League.
Cornell is there too. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I don't. Okay, Harvard doesn't win anything. Hey, my dad went to Harvard, so I got a little Harvard in me. So, and we don't like Yale at all because I'm a Harvard guy.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah,
because my dad went to Harvard, so we actually have a ticket. You'd probably love to see this. We have a ticket. My dad went to a Harvard Yale game.
Oh wow, nice.
It was interesting. I think it was a BU stadium because I'm not sure if Harvard actually had a stadium at the time. But it's from 1950 something, 56 or something like that. It's pretty cool.
Cool, nice.
Yeah. Brown doesn't do anything, but they have a medical school. But other than that, they don't win shit or stuff or anything. Penn, Maybe. Cornell, you don't hear Cornell winning too much. Dartmouth, it's possible, but I don't think so. So it's between Penn and actually Princeton. Is my thought between either one of those. Now, Penn has actually won a lot. But my gut feeling is, and maybe the reason you asked the question is because it's not as obvious. 2017, it's just a year, but maybe it's not as obvious. Because Penn has done very well, always done very well. So you'd think, okay, maybe they probably won the darn bowl game, but you know, I have an answer and then I have a gut feeling. My answer is one thing, and my gut feeling is a totally different answer.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to go with my gut.
All
I'm
right.
not going to go with the answer that I think is correct. I'm going to go with my gut, and I think that's probably incorrect. So my gut feeling is that it was not Penn, that it was Princeton.
Incorrect. Just out of curiosity, what was your non-gut answer?
Penn.
That was also incorrect. It was Yale. Yale was the 2017 Ivy League football champions.
Really?
Yeah. Good old Yale Bulldogs.
Great. So yeah, that should tell you how much I know about.
Hey, I can't make them all easy, you know?
No, not at all.
All right, what do you got up next for me?
Okay, I think this may be my last one.
Okay.
I think because I don't really have any more. Yeah, I'm sticking to all Boston sports here too.
So we'll do that's fine. We'll do one more each because that's fine in terms of time wise as well. That makes sense. We'll do one more each.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to go with hockey.
Okay.
I'm going to go with a hockey question. And what Hall of Fame defenseman who played 21 seasons for the Bruins logged the most career games in franchise history?
Ray Bork.
Correct. How many games, sucker?
No idea. I do have. It's kind of funny. I know folks at home can't see. I do have on my wall here above me a frame signed Ray Bork like picture. So I definitely that kind of jumped right out of me as soon as you asked the question. I'm like, it's got to be Ray.
It is Ray Bork. It is from 1979 to 2000. I said 1979 to 2000.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
21 seasons.
Oh yeah. All right. So now it's time, I guess, for my last question. I didn't realize until I started going through the questions how many football questions I put in this, but my last question is a football question. It's non-New England sports related. This one's kind of an interesting one. I think this may be the first time that this name has been mentioned on this podcast, and that's the name Tony Romo. Former NFL quarterback and current NFL broadcaster. So Tony Romo, during his NFL career, appeared in started, I should say, 6 playoff games in his NFL career. My question to you, Doug, is what was his career playoff record as a starter?
What?
I kind of helped you a little bit because it's 6 games. He appeared in 6 games. So what was his career record as a starter? As a playoff starter in 6 games.
I don't understand the question. Maybe it's late and I'm just stupid, but I'm not. Can you ask the question again because I'm a little hazy to trying to figure out.
Okay.
I
So,
don't understand it
okay, let me try and see if I can get you to understand.
because you said one thing and then you said another, so I'm trying to figure
What do
out
you
which.
mean? What do you mean? I said one thing instead of here. Why don't you explain to me what you
You
misunderstand?
started out by saying this is a question about football, blah 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 blah. You don't ask the question; just ask the question. It's this is about Tony Romo. Okay, it's about Tony Romo now, and then it's like, okay, so I don't see when I ask a question, I just ask the question. So if you could just without commentary, just give me the question would be great. So because I was like, okay, Tony Romo. I don't know anything about Tony Romo. He played for another freaking team. I don't know. And it's like I'm going from one thing to another. So if you could just ask the question, that'd be great.
All right, fine. Let's ask the question. What was Tony Romo's record in his sixth career NFL play? And his sorry, not you know it's NFL. What was Tony Romo's record in his sixth career playoff starts?
Okay.
I mean, I pretty much set it up for you in originally, but if you want straightforward, is what was Tony Romo's record in his sixth career playoff starts?
I have no clue.
I'll give you one hint. It was a 500 record or worse.
I have no idea.
You want to take a shot?
Nope.
Okay, fair
No.
enough. It was 2-4. 2 and
Yeah,
4.
no idea.
2 and 4.
I have no clue.
Well,
I don't have a
some
guess. I don't
some
have any.
questions.
I
Some
could have
questions.
guessed 3-3. I could have guessed whatever, but I don't have any
Hey,
idea. I don't follow Tony Romo. Tony Romo was like when at least at the time that I was watching football. And I love football. Tony Romo was like the worst player that
I know.
I couldn't stand him. So because I couldn't stand him, I certainly didn't follow what he did. So there was no way. Now, if you said Drew Bledsoe or Tom Brady or maybe even Roethlisberger, I may have been able to get that. But Tony Romo, there's no way, no way. So,
Fair enough. Well,
but good question, though. Good question.
here's what I will do, because I don't really want to end on that note. So here's I will give you one more question that maybe is a little bit more straightforward, so to speak. This is college football. So obviously, if you're a sports fan, if you're a football fan, college football fan, you know everybody knows about the Army Navy rivalry. About every year Army and Navy play each other in football. It's a big deal. It's always like the last week of the season. My very simple sort of bonus final question is who owns the all-time series lead between Army and Navy?
Wow, that's a great question.
At least
Yeah, it's
no, you
pretty
got
simple. It's a
50-50 shot.
50-50 shot. 50-50.
50-50, man.
Writing. Okay. My gut says Navy.
Is that your answer?
Yep.
That's correct. Very good. Yep. Navy owns a 61-53 series lead with 7 ties.
Wow, that's weird about the ties, though. That's a lot of ties.
Yeah. Well, just for a little, it's kind of funny when I think about ties and historic series. I think back to a series that is near and dear to my heart, which is the Wellesley Needham Thanksgiving Day football rivalry, which actually has 9 ties, in its history. So,
Well, I'm going to ask you one last question, too. It's a bonus question.
okay.
I do not expect you to get this at all. Okay? Because unless you played this game,
Oh, geez.
I don't expect you to play. I don't expect you to know. It's actually a gamer question.
Oh boy.
It's a
Yep,
sports.
I'm not
It's
gonna get
sports, but
it.
it's sports related because it's actually a Madden question.
Okay.
I'm not expecting you
It's
to
been a
get it.
long time since I've played Madden, but I'll give it a try.
If you've played Madden in the last 20 years, you should know the answer to the question.
All right. Well, I have played Madden
25 years.
Well, I have played Madden in the last 20, 25 years. So
okay.
We'll see.
So here's the question.
Okay.
Who is the only coach that is not represented in completely with his actual, like, how do you call it, his avatar? The only coach in NFL.
This is like an all-time coach or like a current coach or an all-time?
Just a coach who has never had his avatar on this game. So all the coaches are typically represented. So if you see,
Right.
if you see whoever, I mean, you can pick anybody as a coach in the last 20 years. Everybody but one.
I don't know why, but I'm going to go with my guy here because despite having played Madden during the time frame that you discussed, I am not as well versed on this answer. I'm going to take a complete shot in the dark. I'm going to say Bill Belichick.
Correct.
Wow. Okay. All right. Somehow that does not surprise me. That does not surprise me that it would be Bill.
Bill has never been his body has never been represented. His face has never been represented. Never.
Wow. Very good. Cool.
And of course, the reason I said 20 years is because obviously.
Yeah, he's been around that long.
Yeah. He's been around for actually over 20 years. They don't really show. They don't really show the. They show some of the assistant coaches, but they're completely like not.
Right.
They're not right either. So, but they do show the regular coaches, and he's one that just has never had his avatar.
All right, good to know.
And I don't know the reason. We should do some research and find out what the reason is. I think he just didn't want it on there.
That wouldn't surprise me knowing him.
No, it doesn't surprise me either. But
All right, well, great questions, Doug. I think that.
Great questions too, Robbie.
Rousing success of a trivia challenge. We kind of proved in some cases that we know more than we think, in other cases that we know less than we think. So we both kind of were right in the middle, perhaps. But overall, really, really fun time. So we are now going to move on to sort of the end portion of our episode, like we always do, with our final thoughts for episode number 96 here of the Sports Blitz. And Doug, I will let you begin things here with your final thoughts for the episode.
I don't know. I really didn't. Unbelievably, I just maybe I've had a lot of things on my head or whatever, but I don't really have I just had a really good time tonight. Looking forward to future episodes. I really don't have a final thought for tonight, which is kind of strange, but I usually have at least one or two. I know that, I just for some reason don't have one, but looking forward to, the coming episodes. We're going to have some really cool stuff, and that's really my final thought. Hopefully everybody is doing well, and that's really all I got.
Okay. Well, hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with sending a shout out to the people, especially during these days when it's, kindness goes a long way. So I'm with you there. So my final thought is kind of a twofer here, sort of taking. I know Doug usually does like a couple final thoughts, so I have a couple final thoughts for the episode tonight. First of all, obviously, last weekend was a big weekend of Patriot Nation, as it was not only the season opener, but also the beginning of the Mac Jones era at quarterback. I know Doug and I had discussed this at length in the past couple of episodes. And yeah, I mean, unfortunately the Pats could not get the W, falling 17-16 to the Dolphins. But I was actually relatively impressed with Mac Jones's performance, especially throwing the ball. I thought he looked very poised out there and did a good job, throwing the ball downfield, made some nice plays, did not look, except for maybe the first drive or two, did not look all that rattled, like really seemed to settle in well in sort of game experience there. And unfortunately for him, his offense, did not do him any favors by both turning the ball over and committing penalties, which sort of led to some stalled drives and, like I said, ultimately a 1-point loss to begin the season. But I think overall, a solid start to the Mac Jones era at quarterback, and hopefully he can keep going up from here. Especially, I know this week they got the Jets, in New Jersey in the good old Meadowlands. So that should always be a good one. Looking forward to that. My second final thought is sort of not sports related, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention, obviously, the entertainment world and the comedy world specifically lost a legend within the last couple of days with the passing of Norm Macdonald. Passing away. Tremendous comedic talent, best known for Saturday Night Live. Obviously, his Burt Reynolds impression. Especially on SNL Celebrity Jeopardy skits was legendary. And obviously we here at the Sports Blitz definitely send out our condolences and our thoughts and prayers to his family and those close to him. Definitely, like I said, just a legend in the comedic and entertainment business, and will be missed. So I just wanted to I know it's not necessarily sports related, but still wanted to throw that out there to sort of pay tribute there to Norm Macdonald. Like I said, rest in peace.
Robbie, I do have a final thought. Something that happened this past week. Senate Judiciary Committee heard several young women, Allie Raceman and Simone Biles, and a few others. And basically, the talk was about the FBI's dropping of the ball of this guy who had been basically molesting gymnasts for over 20 years. They say that if they had brought him in earlier, a year earlier, then 70. It turns out there's about 70 girls that he molested in about a year's time. That could have been prevented. The FBI dropped the ball.
Mm-hmm.
That's unfortunate. They've admitted that they've dropped the ball. Actually, the guy who's head of the FBI now was not the head of the FBI even when this was going on. So these young ladies are absolutely extremely courageous. This was a public forum with lots and lots of people in it, including, Senate. And it's not easy to be able to talk about this subject. And I give them a lot of credit, for doing this. I think and it was very emotional at times too, because I saw some of the footage. It's very, very emotional. I think Simone Biles actually broke down a couple of times. And I think that they are just super courageous young ladies and just really trying to get, I guess, the FBI to change their protocol, to change what they've done, to change how they do things when it comes to this particular subject. So this doesn't keep going on. 2 FBI agents that actually were on the case. One had a force decided to retire. The other was fired. So what happened was they just let it go.
Yeah.
They knew about it. They knew what was going on, and for some reason they just let it go. And I guess these ladies who are very courageous wanted to know why. And
Yeah.
how do we change the system? How do we change this around so this never happens?
Yeah.
And biggest thing she said is we need answers to keep our children safe. That was Allie.
Yeah. No, it was very powerful stuff for sure. And I saw it as well the other day on the news, and your heart breaks for him. It really does. And I hope that they can sort of use their story to empower others to to come forward when these kinds of things happen, and really empower people who unfortunately deal with these types of situations to stay strong and know that you're not alone in this. And it is it's tough stuff. And
Yeah,
my
they
heart,
also wanted to do it to get it out there, Robbie.
yeah,
And they wanted to let people know that I experienced this. I had this happen to me, but I don't want it to happen to anybody else.
that's right.
So it's huge courageousness to be able to get up in front of a whole bunch of people and explain what happened, tell them what happened, and tell them that they don't want and to say we need answers here.
Yeah,
This is bull crap.
I
We need
agree.
answers.
I
So
agree.
it's definitely something that I wanted to mention because it is a little bit of sports related.
Yeah. Oh
It's
yeah.
also
Oh yeah.
human interest related too.
No, absolutely. I'm there with you, and I appreciate you bringing up, because yeah, it is very important as well. You're absolutely right. So thank you, Doug, for that. That was for that love. That was a very very powerful final thought. So definitely. All right. Well, that is going to wrap up episode number 96 of the Sports Blitz. Again, folks, we are on YouTube, obviously, because you're watching us. Hopefully, you're watching us right here, right now. We are on SoundCloud. We are on Facebook. We
For
are
those
on
older folks,
Twitter.
SoundCloud.
I'm going to mute you in about 5 seconds. Uh, we are all over the place. So please check us
SoundCloud,
out.
SoundCloud.
Please check us out. Subscribe, ring the bell, drop us a like, drop us a comment. Hey, listen.
Yeah, comment good or bad. We need to get better too. So
Yeah.
comment good or bad.
Well, I mean, I know Doug does. I'm perfect, but it's all good. My computer,
wow.
my computer might not be perfect.
Oh, Robbie, I
but
think you need some ice for your head so you can get out the door.
Yeah, no, seriously. No, I'm kidding, obviously. But
Just kidding.
Yeah. Listen, folks, definitely continue. Thank you as always for tuning in, and please continue to check us out. And again, a big special thank you as always to our sponsor, Zyman Organizing. Always appreciative of their sponsorship. And yeah, that wraps up episode number 96 of the Sports Blitz, everybody. Like I said, thanks for tuning in. As always, that's Doug. He's kind of up there. There you are. I'm Robbie, and we will see you next time here on the Sports Blitz. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.